Anyway, so yeah, you were at the
Oh yeah, so we were
at the premiere on 34th.
and it was the all the influencers are there, people some people, some TikTok people were there, some of the big YouTubers were there.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody recognized them but me, but they were there with their people. They had a bunch of seats reserved for Marvel Studios people, so that was cool. They had like 2 rows just for Marvel Studios people.
Mm.
And it was it was like invite only, and obviously like I work where I work, so they extended the tickets to us, and we got to see it. And the funny part about it was that when the credits rolled up and we saw the writers, we started going crazy for like the writers, because it was like, oh shit, like Brian Michael Bendis,
Yeah.
Busick, like people that I think Busick was on there, but I can't remember the names. But we were like, oh, and we were marking out, and then everybody was mad quiet. They were looking at us, and they were like, why are these guys? People were looking at us like, what are they clapping for? And then it was like that meme that was just like with the dude in the corner, and we were the dudes in the corner like, these
Oh
guys
yeah,
don't read
they
comics.
don't. At
But
the dude at the corner of the party. Yeah.
yeah, that's who we
Yeah.
were, because we were freaking out like, wow, these guys are getting credit, because like they never used to get credited like that.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that the writers, at least, they're not getting paid money, probably not, but at least they're getting recognized. So to answer your question, it's a hodgepodge, because while Century was in the New Avengers, like this is more like Dark Avengers
Okay.
than it is New Avengers, because you got Taskmaster, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna say this without spoilers.
Okay.
So for
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
that as
Yeah.
it be
Yeah.
that as
Obviously.
it
Yeah.
is. So we got, I like, I don't know the names of these people, but I know that's Red Guardian. I know that's,
One is Ghosts.
yeah, Ghost. There we go,
And
Ghost.
then I don't know. So like, is she new Black Widow? Is just Black Widow's sister? Like, what's her
I know in the comics, I think she's White Widow now.
White Widow? Okay.
But that's Black Widow's sister.
Yeah.
Then we got John Walker,
Yeah.
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent.
Um, Sentry, who's also like kind of good and bad at the same time, given the circumstances.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then what's my guy? Winter Soldier.
yeah, but he doesn't really count. But
That's what I'm wondering. So he's not really.
he's not involved in any of the from my. I never read New Avengers. I read Dark
Okay.
Avengers. But so we got four bad people. Let's just throw Sentry in there for like whatever, because sometimes he's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we got four bad. Well, not actually five.
Five bad people.
Five bad people. So Dark Avengers was essentially the kind of what inspired this, because Thunderbolts, as people may, this is not a spoiler, but Thunderbolts, like, this is not the real Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts were actually, they were all bad, but they were controlled by Baron Zemo. There's no Baron Zemo in this movie. They're not really being controlled by anything. They're doing this of their own volition. So the Dark Avengers was essentially led by Norman Osborn, and he was there like Iron Man. Then we had like the evil counterpart of like everybody.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I mean,
So
so
that's I didn't notice because it's like Thunderbolts with an asterisk. So it's like, and then like I mean it's partial spoiler, but not really like because they people see it online where they're like ripping off the signpost and it says New Avengers on it, like that. I guess like after the movie came out. So
but that's smart, because they would never have been able to market this
as
as
the
the
New
new. There,
Avengers,
no,
yeah,
it just wasn't gonna fucking work.
that's fair. No, that's very fair.
It
Yeah,
wasn't gonna work.
yeah,
So I like the way they did it. Um, yeah, like they people would have laughed. That this move, that so
yeah. You're right. They would have laughed at if they like called them New Avengers and then
yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So this is more Dark Avengers than it is New Avengers. Because everybody there is like on some evil shit except Bucky to some extent.
Yeah.
Even Red Guardian, he was on some depressed shit. Like every part of everyone had some dark aspect to them, whether it
Yeah.
be like their personal life, their mental state, So it was a dark movie,
Yeah.
no pun intended.
No, yeah, I mean with the like not to get sort of the semi bad guy of the thing is like it dealt with some serious themes, but no, I caught it. It was damn good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm like they got the little cameo at the end, so we know it's tying into everything uh coming in, so that's gonna be fun. Are you pumped for any other movies? Like,
Listen, I only saw this movie because it was free, so
that's fair. That is
I'm
fair.
not gonna
And
hold
you were
you.
pleasantly surprised too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. It was a solid 9, and I don't really like much Marvel movies. I think my favorite ones are the first Guardians and now this one. So
Yeah.
I don't really like much, but this was good. Fantastic Four. There's a lot of people interested in Fantastic Four buying like a lot of stuff
Hmm.
Fantastic Four related. Fantastic Four always been like for old people. I've said this many times before.
Yeah, you said it like it's like a old. I actually didn't realize how old the comic was too. Like I remember I had one because I had like one of the action figure sets that came with a comic, and I remember reading it and it's like this dude looked like an Archie comic, like how it's like how it's drawn at least, not like what it is. It's just it does look older, and I didn't really put two and two together because they had already come out with like two movies in the early 2000s. So I was like, I don't know.
This looks like it could be good. I mean, they got a really good cast. Um, I just can't say I know much about Fantastic Four. Oh,
Yeah,
that's funny. You know those guys right there, like
dude,
right there.
right?
No,
These ones?
the cosplayers.
Oh, these guys right? Yeah.
Yeah, they show up. Is it them? I feel like it is. Um, no, never mind. But like, there's some Fantastic Four cosplayers that always show up at the job. It might be them.
That's
I
funny.
don't really know. They always take
I
pictures
actually
and
never
shit.
saw this one, the Fan Four Stick. I never saw
Why
it.
he naked?
That's the yeah, this is wild. I
I
never saw it. I was just
I
like,
never saw it either. Cause Rise of the Silver Surfer was so bad, I was done.
yeah. You know, people's trying to champion that movie again though. Like, like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like trolling online or whatever it is, but like people be trying to make bad movies good again, as if they like we didn't trash it when it came out.
Yeah, I mean,
I
look,
don't know, but yeah, this one I
you
didn't.
give the internet an inch, they want a mile.
Yeah,
So I think the female Silver Surfer was their inch.
yeah,
So now they want to just say some old dumb shit. Uh, I honestly, I would like to see the original people come back, Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan. I would like to see that in Doomsday.
okay, yeah,
That would be fun.
yeah. Apparently that's they're doing filming for that because what's his name is already um on set. Robert Downey.
Is he?
Yeah, they did like pictures of it. He's on set and he's like reading books and shit and hanging out,
Yeah,
trying to get into costume or whatever.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. Fantastic Four needed to be good. Is that Astor Place? It looked like Astor
Right,
Place.
a little bit, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Not sure.
I think that is Astor Place. You know where the Starbucks is?
Yeah,
I think that is, but I think they modified it a little bit.
yeah. This little crossway here.
Yeah, but there was like this whole narrative, and even I said it too, that Fantastic Four needed to be good to kind of get the ball back rolling, but I think Thunderbolts um kind of did that for them. So all they need to do is just kind of deliver.
Just deliver. Just bring us home.
It
Bring it home.
doesn't even need to be crazy amazing.
Yeah.
It just needs to be like a good movie
Yeah.
because they the Thunderbolts set you up with the 1-2, and now they got to finish with the combination.
Yeah.
So, and it looks good, man. It looks good. Can't wait to see Silver Surfer. Can't wait to see
Yeah. I'm actually pumped for the Silver Surfer. To be honest, like I don't.
Norrin Rad. Is gonna show up eventually.
Yeah.
When Fantastic Four crosses over into our universe. So that's gonna be cool. But I'm really interested to see uh how they tie in to the MCU, like how they gonna bring them in because they couldn't they didn't have the right, so they couldn't establish Fantastic Four into the MCU
Yeah.
early on. So it's interesting to see how their universe, their isolated universe is gonna go if
That they're the main people, basically. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think there's any superheroes in their world outside of them.
Right. It's
So
interesting.
so is Galactus gonna destroy it, and then they're gonna find a way to come over here? Is Galactus multi-universal? Can he
Right.
follow them?
Right. Which I want to say he can't, like, because they've already been talking about the what is it, the Sentinels, and I got not Sentinels but the Celestials and all this other stuff. Like they've been teasing all these giant creatures, like people before, God creatures before. So like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just they got to put the pen to work. They got to get some writing going. They got to do
I
something.
listen. I'm not a cosmic person, so I don't really know how this is all gonna play out. I don't really know much about Galactus because I don't give a fuck about Marvel in space. Like
Hmm.
once you talk about Marvel in
Really, so
space,
you're not big on the Galactic Marvel front.
no, I'm not big on cosmic stories in general.
Okay.
So when it comes to Galactus, Silver Surfer, um, Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't give a fuck.
You like street level, the street level
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, because I feel like that's kind of where Marvel shines the most.
Mm,
I feel like that's where a lot of their best stories come from. Even now, to this day, I think that they still some of their best stuff is street level. Like recently, the Hulk, when he had that terrible story when he had all the machinery on him and shit, and
the
it was
Mecha
fucking
Hulk or
ridiculous.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mecha Hulk, Titan Hulk.
Yeah.
Um, and then the following writer after that, he brought him back to the basics. He put him street, well, not really street level, but he was on some like uh black magic street level shit where he was
Mm,
walking around, seeing monsters, beating them up, and then we had Daredevil, where a few years ago he had one of the most iconic stories. Um, and then Ghost Rider, who's another street level dude, street level demon, like not cosmic, but street level with magic and sorcery.
yeah.
That did very very well. So even like the Ultimate Spider-Man right now, like he's street level right now. He's dealing with street level shit.
Mm,
So I think honestly, Marvel, or it looks like to me at least, they're focusing more on like these street level stories where it's Ultimate Spider-Man, um, you know, Hulk, Ghost Rider, Daredevil. I'm not really a fan
well,
of like
what
the
about,
movie.
and then like, and not even just street level, but also like I like the more supernatural stuff because then it gets into like
Yeah,
more
yeah,
not horror, but like it's grittier. It's just a little grittier.
yeah. But that's what Hulk is because
Yeah.
it's like a mix of supernatural, but they're keeping it street level.
Yeah.
And then there's with Ghost Rider is supernatural. That's the word I was looking for.
Supernatural.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is supernatural with Ghost Rider, but they still keeping him like boots on the ground. And there's nothing fucking crazy going on.
Yeah.
You know, so once it,
No
it
aliens.
yeah,
No aliens.
once we get to aliens and fucking and Null and all
Yeah.
this, it's like, bro, what are we doing? Even though I like Null, but it got a little wonky at the end, and then Silver Surfer had Thor's hammer, and then Venom had Thor's hammer and Silver Surfer's board, and he combined them to
What's
make
all
like a.
this? That's wild.
It got ridiculous.
When the hell? What was this?
It was the King in Black.
The
It was a
King.
series, and it was with Null, and he was he was unfuckable, you know, and that was like the first time I was like, this is some Marvel shit, and then this is really cool. So he's the main bad guy of the Sonyverse right now.
Mm.
And then I thought that was like the first time that
They
they
tried this dude in Thor, right? That last Thor.
no they meant it's complicated because Gore the God Butcher,
Gore. That's what it was. That's my
his
fault. Yeah.
sword is a piece of this guy.
Mm.
So that's kind of how they like intertwined him.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, this is actually pretty fucking good. And then the ending was just like, what are we doing here?
They
Like,
phoned it in.
it's
Or
not
they just got crazy with it.
it's not it's just they built him up. They built this nigga up for like, I don't know, a couple years. And then he just went out in one issue. They cleaned them up, and it's just like, you guys built probably one of the most interesting villains that Marvel has ever had. One of the scariest, the most interesting, the most intriguing. There hasn't been anybody this badass in terms of looks, uh, fear. Like, he had the fear factor,
Mm-hmm.
the power. His power scaling was crazy. And he just looks cool. He had everything. And then they kind of just he got like the shit beat out of him.
Damn.
They made him look like a scrub at the end, and it was just like, well, this was kind of all for nothing. Like, what? You invested all this into a character, and then you just
He doesn't like.
kill him off at the end because he was supposed to be strong.
So they didn't even like subdue him for later. It's
So
just,
pretty
they
much
really
he's
just
so
killed him.
strong he ripped Sentry in half.
Damn.
And then he went out in like a bullshit way at the end with fucking Venom combining Thor's hammer and Silver Surfer's board together, and it was just like, all right, whatever, dude.
That's a bit much. That's a bit much.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was nonsense. The whole thing was nonsense. They do make references to him in the Sony Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he'll be one of the villains in like the future games. And I think there's like a lot of potential for him in the MCU if he could cross over somehow.
Yeah. What is he like a? Is he like vampire undead type? What the hell?
Nah, he's essentially like he's the creator of the symbiotes. So he
Okay.
he existed before everything. He
Oh,
always existed.
oh shit. Okay.
So he was just spreading the symbiote um through the galaxy. They did a really good
Yes.
story with Silver Surfer, and because Silver Surfer had like an arm that was infected with the symbiote, and then it was called Silver Surfer Black. And that one was cool. A lot of good stuff came from this. It just ended terribly, and I was like, it just wasn't good.
God, you pay it off. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the final battle was fucking ridiculous. It was like I was reading fan fiction.
Well, you say that because they're like combining like 5 different weapons, and then
And then, but Venom wielded it.
yeah, which is wild.
It was. Oh, see, look, those are the Celestials, I think.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and then they got
But they
the
got the symbiote in it.
yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a huge deal.
So everybody getting symbiote powers as well.
Yeah, everybody got infected by this dude.
So do you think, honestly, uh do you honestly think if, let's say, one company had bought all these properties instead of them being split between like six different companies, do you think A, they could have pulled something like this off in film, or do you think like um do you think they couldn't, or do you think they should at all? Like, do you think it's just one of those things that's like, nah, just keep it on, or if anything, animated. That's it. Like,
Nah, I think I'm happy with what we got because it forced Disney to take all these characters that nobody gave a shit about, and I don't give a fuck who you are. Nobody gave a fuck about Captain America when I was a kid. Nobody gave a fuck about Thor. Nobody gave a fuck about Iron Man. The Avengers was just like a whatever book. Like no one cared. People cared about X Men and Spider Man. That
this is
I,
true.
I would
This
I
is
would
very
give
true.
them, that. But there was still X Men was the highest selling single issue ever to this day, still not topped
Mm.
with like 8 million copies. X Men was huge in the '90s. Um, I would say Fantastic Four was a little relevant, but not that much. It was Hulk, it was
Hulk was a big
Spider
deal.
Man, and it was the X Men, specifically Wolverine, because that's what I asked for Christmas when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Um, so outside of those guys, it was Batman, Superman, the Justice League, Wonder Woman. Like it was, DC was king just because they had one. They owned all their characters. They owned all their properties. WB. They always had the backing of
Yeah.
WB.
They didn't split them up the way
No.
they was. Yeah.
Then they had the movies. They had the movies, even the shitty
Superman,
ones.
the Superman movies blew up in the '80s. Yeah,
Exactly.
those were crazy.
Even they had
Yeah.
even in the '90s when the Batman movies was like, what are we doing?
The Tim Burtons and all this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, not the
yeah,
Tim Burton, but I'm talking about the Joel Schumacher.
yeah. Yeah, the nipple Batmans.
Yeah,
Nipple Batmans.
exactly. And
Yeah.
but even then, like that was still making Batman relevant.
Yeah.
Marvel ain't really have movies like that. DC even has Steel, and then it's like
They did do a.
with
They
Shaquille
gave
O'Neal.
Shaquille Steele.
Yeah,
Yo.
so
Oh my
even
goodness.
then,
Forgot that was in DC.
they was still getting that shine. They was still getting that cinematic rub,
Yeah.
where it was just like Marvel was getting nothing in the '90s. I guess they got Blade, but
Yeah,
but
but
most
that was a saving. That was a Hail Mary.
but most people didn't even know Blade was a comic, myself included.
I didn't know until I think like maybe the third or fourth time watching it. I actually was looking at the credits and it said based off Marvel, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it.
Yeah, so
Like they don't, because they didn't do the Marvel logos back then. They didn't do the studio joint. They didn't do none of that. It was just like, yeah, this is the comic book movie that you didn't know.
oh yeah, and you're absolutely right. I so when that happened, I think it forced Disney to take all these characters and be like, all right, we got to make people care because we don't have Spider Man. Like
That's the crazy thing.
we
Yeah,
don't have the X-Men. We don't have all of these characters that niggas actually care about. You don't have X-Men, you don't have Spider-Man, you don't have Fantastic Four. People cared about those three
I didn't even know they
properties.
didn't really have Hulk like that either.
No, that
That's
was
crazy.
that was Universal. So
Yeah,
any character that was popular, well, they needed to get rid of them because Marvel was about to go bankrupt.
yeah,
So they needed to sell the ones that people cared about to keep them afloat, which did really well for them. So now they had to take these kind of C-list, B-list characters, and they had to do something with them. And I think if that hadn't happened, we would have had a very, very different MCU, for better or for worse. I don't know, because
yeah.
maybe they could have started with the first family, and they
And then
did Fantastic Four.
did it properly. Yeah,
I don't know, who knows, but I kind of don't believe they could have did it without Iron Man. Like they had to make this movie good.
Yeah, and they
So
did. They pulled it off. It is just weird to think like not realizing that like if you are not a like if you're not heavy into comics and you see all these things and want to know why they don't mix. It's really on some like corporate like yeah this person owns this property they can't do it, and then you go to a comic book store and you're like how does everybody have a symbiote that makes like that it's like how does that like because in that world they can do what they want and I kind of do want it to get to some place where they can like I like that Sony had this sort of connection with they were able to make the contract work to where Marvel could get them for a little bit, give them right back. To, like I don't know how they make that how that magic works, but I'd like to see something that crazy. I would love to see something like I don't know, like a Marvel Zombies or something like happen. But I just don't know if we'll get it because of corporate shit.
I think at some point we're gonna get like a DC Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I think that's the real end game.
Yeah.
That's it's probably gonna happen.
2055.
Yeah, but
2055.
at some point, all of these movies are gonna run out of steam, and nobody's gonna be interested anymore.
I mean, we already hit that once. I feel like once the app came out.
I don't think so. I think Disney kind of got greedy, and they wanted to put out content,
Yeah.
and then it's just kind of like, bro, like we want the characters that we care about. I don't fucking care about what was one of those shows that they fucking put out this.
Well, they did the Scarlet Witch joint.
I don't give a fuck about that.
They did the Miss Majestic Kamala Khan.
That was decent. I like that.
They did what's my boy the
Hawkeye. Who
They
gives a
did
fuck about
they
that?
did Hawkeye. They did She-Hulk.
I thought that was what's so crazy.
She was twerking.
Yeah, but she did worse in the comics. She had
No, yeah, she was messy. She had
the newspaper all over her titties and shit on the cover.
Yeah,
and
wearing
then
booty shorts to save a building. I've seen. Yeah, she's messy. Yeah,
it was one of the again. It's when you in the corner and then you like people don't read comics.
Yeah.
And I listen. I didn't think the show was amazing, but it felt like She-Hulk, and I don't really know what people were expecting.
I thought it was. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was just a funny show. It didn't. It felt like a sitcom that just happened to have. Like it felt like New Girl, but with Hulk. You know what I mean?
That's essentially
like
what the comic was.
Yeah.
It was like Felicity.
Yeah.
But
with green skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And superpowers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was. It's not the best show in the world, but I thought it was fairly comic accurate.
Yeah.
And people could disagree with me in the comments. I don't know. But because I did read most of the Dan Slott and John Byrne She-Hulk, so whatever. But yeah, like who the fuck cared about a Hawkeye show? The general public wasn't ever gonna like She-Hulk if she wasn't like the actual female version of the Hulk. And I guess that's what people were expecting. They were expecting a Hulk show, but with She-Hulk.
So like Xena, basically.
Yeah.
They wanted like a Xena
Yeah.
to Hercules type thing.
Exactly. So
well, and one thing I actually been peeping this with Marvel since Winter Soldier came out is that they did this really cool thing where they basically just gave you a type of movie but with superheroes in it. So like they gave you a spy thriller, they gave you Mission Impossible, but with just Captain America. So I was like, oh, I like this. Like this is like an everyday scenario. It just happens to be Steve Rogers. You know what I mean? Instead of it being this grand cape flapping in the wind event, it's just a regular ass movie. I just didn't know that we're doing a Marvel superhero bit. And then they've kept doing that. They just continue to sort of like basically you could have sold this movie to Hollywood as like like you could have sold Guardians of the Galaxy as like Hangover 4 for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like a road trip movie, crazy antics, people getting blasted, whatever. But you just put people in the right slot and then you sold it well. I like that they're doing that because then they are making them a little more relatable. It's just once you get into TV and it's like okay, so now I gotta continue this. I gotta watch 7 episodes so I can continue to watch the movies. I got a little like, and I was going to bat well after Endgame. I was like, nah, this shit is still good. But then after a while, I'm like, okay, you're right. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's
It's too much,
it's a
bro.
lot.
And then Daredevil is like CSI, but with
Yeah, basically,
or
yeah.
Law and Order,
It's
but with
Law and Order.
superheroes.
It is, yeah. It's Law and Order. It's the practice. but,
And
but
then Luke Cage is The Wire,
the
but,
why the why with
but with
superheroes.
superheroes.
Yeah, and it's a good formula. I have to say,
Or
it's
I
a
could
really
say
good formula.
Empire with
It's
superheroes.
Empire. It's power. It's power. With
It's
super,
Power,
it's power. With
whatever the
superheroes.
fuck.
Yeah,
Because 50 Cent got mad shows.
yeah, he did.
Empire,
Empire.
Power,
Yeah,
what is the Ghost Show?
Ghost, Ghost Legends
Yeah,
Legacy.
like
Yeah,
what the hell is all this shit?
it's a good format because it is hard to make all these superheroes feel grand in every single movie. Because they did it for a while. Every superhero they were like, oh, it's a superhero. But then after a while, it's like, what if we just made a rom com with superheroes? What if we just made a spy thriller with superheroes? What if we try to do horror like they try to do that with what's the dude? Doctor Strange joint.
And that was fucking.
I said they tried. I said they tried. They tried to do like a spooky horror take
It's not gonna
on
work with Doctor Strange.
on Doctor Strange.
They needed to get the Ghost Rider. They needed to get I felt like Moon Knight could have been that.
Moon Knight was that. That was like a psychological thriller type.
Um, they could do that with the Hulk, but Universal,
Yeah.
obviously. They could have did that with Blade, but that didn't come to fruition. Um, there's a lot of the Bloodstone family. They could have did that with Werewolf by Night. There's a lot of avenues that they could take it.
I think they did that as a movie.
I know she was. You talking about? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was
It
like
was
the
like
Halloween.
it was the
special.
Halloween special. I actually did like that. I don't know where it fits anywhere. I don't know if it was just a one off, whatever it was. But I nobody really talks about that much, and I actually really really enjoyed that.
I want to see Elsa Bloodstone pull up.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, it's we'll see because I don't know where they go after this. So after Avengers Doomsday, I don't know what they're gonna do after that. Because we're almost at Avengers Doomsday. We're almost there.
Yeah, we're like
We're
maybe 2 movies away.
Yeah, so which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Like what are they gonna do next? Are they gonna reset the timeline? Are they gonna?
I guess they're gonna. Well, they gotta still get the X-Men in there. Like they still gotta figure out how the hell to get the X-Men in there.
I don't know how they're gonna do that.
I don't know either, but that's what they have to be leading to. Like it just has to be. So like you gonna get them in there? Or you gonna like what we doing?
Listen, I'm not the writers,
Yeah,
so that's
they need to get it together. I will say that I can. You need to get some fresh blood in here to help circulate these stories, but no, I'm pumped for it. All right. So other reason why I brought you because okay. So we was on the stream maybe like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, something like that, a month ago maybe, and you threw out a term I never heard before, but apparently it was like a craze going crazy, and you was talking about these joints called Labubu, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it up. I was like, whatever. It looks like some. It looks like some. Where the Wild Things Are ass.
You saw the basketball player with it.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was. I think it was John Morant or some shit.
When I tell you, I got coworkers calling out of work so they can go to events to get Labubus, and then I found out somebody sold one for like almost $1 billion in China. What is happening? What is this? What you in the know? You know what's going on. What's happening? Why is this the new? What is the? I thought Pops was enough.
The first time I seen it was like 2022. I think I was dating this one girl from Japan, which I probably mentioned from the stream, and we went to like a Tesla Life near her house, and we used to go there. We used to shop there a lot. Cause she used to buy like food and shit over there, cause they got like a food section, and I always used to see it, and it used to just be flooded with shit. And I was always like, wow, that's cool. Like, like those blind boxes look cool. So then, I started to notice that they were getting popular. That Pop Mart was they were doing like a lot of really good marketing, and then they were getting a lot of places, but those weren't popular in particular. Um, because they were selling like a lot of other keychains.
Yeah, because you go to those Tessos or whatever, and there's a bunch. Like I personally collect shin chains. Like huge fan of the anime, the cartoon, whatever. And it's hard to get over here in America. And I was watching it on Adult Swim when I was younger. Found out, got older, just can't really find a lot of places, but the merch is there. So now I'm like, I'm going to those spots and I'm finding the blind boxes for Shin Chan. But then I'll see this and like a bunch of other stuff next to it.
They were I think like the Astro Boy stuff that they had was kind of popular. So Pop Mart was gaining popularity, but there was like this I feel like this like Korean famous Korean singer. Um she was super into it, and then one day she shared it on the stream, and then it just kind of blew up from there.
Mm. That really is all it takes. Damn.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That
Yeah.
was it. I don't really know. I don't really know what group she was from, but I know she was like a Korean pop singer.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Because
Once
that's what
she,
I'm seeing. I'm seeing this. So they were saying like I saw like a headline about like it was a girl with this on it, and it was like, yeah, it's like $1 billion or something. Like in
it
industry.
has a theme park in China as well, where you could go and you get them out there. There's a theme park. It has I think that was the might have
That
been
might be the lady. Yeah.
might be I can't remember what she looked like, but
Yeah.
no racial. I don't want to get canceled.
No, you good, but still, But that's the demographic. Like when I see it, when I see everything, that's the demographic. But I'm telling you, I got like dudes I know, like actual dudes that are like, yeah, I gotta go get me these Labubus because I'm trying to make a flip, and I'm like,
It's not that serious.
apparently, I'm so,
Like
it's
if
news to me. I feel so out of the loop. Like I'm usually out of the loop on some stuff, to be honest, because I'm all over the place with what I'm into. But
nah, I mean I knew Pop Mart the company was gonna blow up like
okay.
any minute,
Are
but
they so they're just their own Pop
yeah,
Mart is they just own Labubu or is it just like
that's
they
their
have this
mascot.
that's their
They do a
mascot?
lot of they do a lot of things.
Okay.
They do a lot of things. Me personally, I'm not really a Labubu guy. But I do feel like there's gonna be a trickle down effect because it's really hard to get these. So a lot of the people who want to get them probably might just look for like other alternatives.
Yeah.
Because now I'm seeing a lot of people with
I've seen these.
those.
So and that's another thing. It's like I don't know. Maybe I'm just not tapped in, but I'm seeing a lot of these sort of callbacks to franchises from like my youth, maybe like,
Mm.
10, 15, 20 years ago. That's like they're just in stores now. Like I'll walk past a Miniso and there's a whole Powerpuff Girl aisle just there, and I'm like, did something happen?
No, there's Powerpuff Girl comics now.
Yeah, okay. So I'm like,
They're
is that
doing
something I didn't?
they're doing Powerpuff Girls meets the Thundercats.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'm not even going. I ain't even going. I'm just gonna say that might work. It's odd enough that it might work. After seeing the Sonic crossovers you were showing me, I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
this will all work. Okay, because I'm like, I'm not. Listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna collect any of this stuff. I just want to know what I'm looking at when I see it. So now when I'm looking, I'm like, okay, so boom, so like Labubu's the big guy because they kind of, you know, what they also look like.
Mm.
They look like Animal Crossing
Oh,
characters. Yeah, yeah, they got like that sort of like Animal Crossing vibe going.
you know which one I like? It was like a knockoff Labubu, but it was cool. It's called Grumpeepee.
From BP. All right, let me see what these are. Let me see what BPs. PP?
PIPI.
Oh, BB. Me some.
This is it right here.
Ooh, okay.
This is
Okay.
this is
Yeah. All right.
this is the one.
These are all right. I like these.
I'm fucking with it
I like
because
these. I like these a lot more.
yeah, because he's just
The aesthetic is definitely.
he's over it.
Yeah.
He's over it.
Don't want none of this.
He's like depressed. I want one. I just don't know how to buy one.
Fair.
And
Yeah.
that's the
a
problem
tough.
because
It's a tough buy.
that's Malaysian, I think.
Okay.
Because I'm or like it was I'm pretty sure a Malaysian company made this, or it was like a Malaysian shop
Yeah.
that's promoting it. I don't really know. I just really like.
I do like this aesthetic a lot. Very much.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Depresso from Power World.
Power World. Yeah. You know, I wanted that to do more. I know it's still going, but I played it online for a while. Depresso. Let's see, Power World. Yeah. 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 This is one of my favorite, like the little starter type boys.
Yeah, man.
Power World was fun, man. They called it a clone, but
It was.
it had its own
He's the guy.
little stank on it. Yeah.
But I'm really into like Gloomy Bear. I think Gloomy Bear is like one that's set to come back.
Gloomy Bear.
Gloomy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think that one is like
Oh.
because I seen like a bunch of like young kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen like stickers of this now.
And then this was like something that was really really popular in like the early 2000s, so like 2008, 2007. Um,
Yeah, this definitely has that like 2000s angst, like an anti Hello Kitty type.
yeah, and I think it was that's why everybody was like, so this is Japanese.
Okay.
Um, and then they got the Cthulhu Gloomy Bear.
Right here.
Is go down.
Oh
Oh my
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they had like the Gloomy Bear onesie.
Yeah.
So I had recently bought some Gloomy Bear stuff on the way over here. And I just think Gloomy Bear is like he's just cooler. He's way cooler than fucking
No, and it fits the theme of like people like when these things catch on, it has to be this weird cross of like angsty with like cute at the same time, so it can like cross over with all these different types of people. I like this one. Yeah, I like this one a little bit more. It definitely gives me like that early Kanye.
nah yeah
Yeah, just like
yeah
that.
exactly
Yeah,
like that too. You know, so you see, look at that.
yeah.
So
Like that on the shirt.
I really I really think Gloomy Bear is next up for like a resurgence. So I'm trying to buy all the Gloomy Bear stuff I can now.
So you think Labubu is like the first step, but it's like
It's
trickle down. You're talking
yeah
about.
yeah
Okay.
because then people start discovering shit.
Okay.
Because then there's people that are like and I've already been seeing even before Labubu blew up. I've been seeing like the like the alternative YNs.
Yeah.
I've been seeing them have like Gloomy Bear keychains on their book bags where it's just like the paw,
Yeah.
the bloody
The
paw.
bloody paw.
And then I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Had a gloomy bear pop with the Hannibal Lecter on.
Yeah.
Well,
So
shit, yeah. If this shit ends up
that's the one I
getting
bought today.
into, if this shit ends up getting into the Shinchan camp, because I saw a girl walk past my store, this Asian chick. She had a Shinchan T-shirt on. And it's like I don't know. I had to walk up to her. I was like, "Where'd you like? I like your shirt." And she was not in the right headspace to talk to me. But I was just like, I've never seen this like out and about.
But that's like the Pop Mart effect.
Yeah, if it is, listen, I'm gonna start racking up. I'm gonna start getting make my investments. We can get this damn thing over here.
I don't know
Oh, and
if
that's like the dude he terrorizes. I'm
yeah,
guessing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like this. Posables.
Yeah, so and then Invader Zim is also like another big one that's
Yeah.
coming back. Again, more alternative YNs uh been pulling up with Invader Zim. But
I just want to know where it's coming from. I actually, yeah, it's like Invader Zim, Stitch, Powerpuff Girls, um, and like these are shows that like stuff that I actually really like growing up liked. But I'm not. Maybe I'm just not on TikTok enough. I'm not seeing where the rise in popularity is coming from because I'm not seeing a major
probably
show.
Hot
I'm
Topic.
not seeing a Hot Topic probably. Yeah, yeah. I've been pulling up in there seeing the anime shirt collection.
Cause you got to remember like everything early 2000s is coming back. So Baby Fat,
Yeah,
what's that? Ed Hardy,
Ed Hardy.
Von Dutch.
Yeah, I've seen a couple LRGs rolling around.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
LRG. So like there's this whole big push to like for early 2000s. It's like the baggy pants.
yeah.
Um, so because of that, new metal,
New metal's come. Yeah, new metal.
in the goth alternative space, new metal is coming back. So you're getting a lot of like older bands doing tours like Power Man 5000, Static
Yeah, wasn't
X,
there like it was a big ass punk
Mudvayne.
festival, like a punk and rock festival that happened like last year, a year or two ago.
So um when early 2000s stuff kind of comes back, people tend to look up like like the fashion of that era, like what
Mm.
UFO pants and like in the alternative, in like the rocker world,
Yeah,
they want to Trip is coming back, Trip NYC, like the big UFO jeans and stuff like that. So
yeah, the Jinko joints. I've been
yeah,
seeing stuff. Yeah,
exactly,
with the low with the belt loop that came through the.
exactly.
Yeah,
So when you go deep into that dive, Invader Zim is gonna come up. You're gonna stumble across Invader Zim.
absolutely. Yeah.
So then that's kind of
Courage. I've
how.
seen people rocking Courage stuff like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like it's a. I like that though. Like I don't know. It's just it. I am all for it because I love seeing stuff like this come back because I knew it was good when it was coming out. So I'm glad to see other people like it. It's just kind of a shock of
Kid
like
Robot.
Yeah, I'm just like you turn around, you're like, what the like? Okay, all right, a whole section dedicated to this. Absolutely, like
We had like like 3 boxes of Kid Robot Funkos. Not Kid Robot Funkos, like Kid Robot blind boxes.
yeah,
And I was like, how come you never put this out? And then they were like, yo, those been there for like 10 years. If you want to put them out, you put them out.
yeah,
And it was like an Adult Swim, like Kid Robot uh, stuff. And it didn't sell like 10 years ago. Because the old
mm,
manager capped it there because it didn't sell.
yeah.
I put it out, all the boxes sold because it was Venture Brothers, it was Samurai Jack, it was all
Mm-hmm.
this other stuff. So people were like, "Oh shit!" So a lot of people
Man, that's a cool find actually.
were
Just
buying
have it and you're like,
3 or 4 at a time,
yeah. What's that joint I was
and
looking
it
at?
was like dead stock. Like you couldn't even get those anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So like that had to be a find for real.
For a lot of
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh, this is cool."
What's that joint? Fugglies. What them shit's called again? Um, Fugglers. Is that what it is? Fuck yeah! I've seen these. Uh
Yeah, typing.
oh shit. Those drinks. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
My homegirl had one of those.
the creepy teeth
I
joints.
just found out about that yesterday.
Yeah, so I like we was at rolling like in like Five Below, and then they just like out, and like I guess they're coming back in like their own little weird way. I like my shorty peeped me on these. I didn't even know like some of these things they just came and went, and I didn't know. This eerie as shit. I like it. Like I like this. Like
It reminds me of the Ugly Dolls,
yeah,
but this is pretty much early 2000. Oh, see, I think those. Oh no, those aren't the Ugly Dolls. But it looks like the Ugly Dolls, but with real teeth.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just Labubu starting a new wave. I mean, I knew something had to come along because like I've seen this before. Like uh my aunt and uncle were like insane TY Beanie Baby collectors. And
Mm-hmm.
at the height they like sold it for like hella profit. Like they were just one of those people that collected like all them. And then it was just like nothing for a while. And then Pop came along, and like everybody's like,
Funko.
Funko came along. Everybody wanted Pops, and I was like, that we're still in it, but it's I didn't think it was gonna get that crazy. And then now I guess this is the new wave. Like it's just
The blind boxes came
the blind
from
box came along.
Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah, the blind boxes came from Japan or the blind bags or whatever.
yeah,
Um,
and just swap.
Now China's killing it, man. China's killing it.
Yeah.
They got all the good shit. They got Marvel Rivals. They got Labubu.
Mm-hmm.
They got Wukong. They got. I mean, what else they got?
Those are all coming from China. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, they got us on lock.
They got the tariffs.
They got us on lock, man. I just realized that. Yeah, we all playing the joint.
Man, they got the tariffs too.
Yeah.
So shout outs to China.
Shout out China, man. I mean, no, I don't want no beef with nobody. I want no beef. What's up? You I've been noticing there's a lot of live action stuff coming out. Have you been watching any of the live action shows for like games lately?
No,
No.
I don't
Um,
watch much TV.
we're kind of we're kind of in a renaissance. I haven't seen a lot of these shows. I haven't really seen like crazy, but we're kind of in a weird like game show adaptation renaissance. And I didn't think we'd get here because like video game
I
movies.
felt like we'd get here. I kind of knew we'd get here. It was
I
only a matter of time.
I mean, it sucked for a long time.
Yeah, because
It
nobody wanted to put in the
it
work.
it sucked for a long time. I mean, I slugged through all the video game adaptations of movies that they messed up. Like it it really was a rough go of it for a while.
It was only a matter of time because I never thought we'd get as many good superhero movies as we did now. And then when I was thinking like 10 years ago, I was just like, well, if superhero movies like just die, what's the next thing that they're gonna do? Video game adaptations.
Yeah.
So that was like a 1+1 kind of thing for me. I just honestly I'm still surprised that superhero movies are like still going. Um, but
Yeah, it is, but it almost I think it's just because it really did solidify itself. Like it's its own type of thing now. I think.
I think so too. I think the first good one that I saw where I was just like, okay, like video game movies are this is about to it's about to get crazy in like 10 years with video game movies was when I saw Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
And then when I saw that I was like, man, like this is the best video game movie since fucking uh since Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah,
Because before Detective Pikachu, it was just the first Mortal Kombat movie.
it was the first Mortal Kombat movie. Like I'll say there may have been like a super small handful. Like I'm talking like less than five. All of them have been shit. Like they either changed the character up completely or they didn't go one way or another. Some people might hate me on this. I like the Hitman movie.
I've never seen it.
I thought it was damn good. It's the was it Timothy Oliphant, the dude from Justified or whatever. He was in it. Damn good movie. Maybe one or two others. Everything else sucked. But the last 5 years, we had fucking Twisted Metal. Fantastic. Anthony Mackie, I realized the type of dude Anthony Mackie is as far as being a leading man. He is not Captain America put on a suit and like fight dudes bare knuckle box. He is race car driver, Fast and the Furious cool. He's that kind of cool because he's the lead in this show and he's fantastic in it. And I believe he's the guy he is. Like I believe he can actually drift and like talk shit and he's like a Mad Max type character. Like it fits for him. Did you? I don't know if you caught this on Amazon, but I would catch it.
I did. I saw the first season. It was really good.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at how. I was very surprised at how well that they adapted.
Just really shot like, and then they just keep doing it.
They
like
did
they got
change.
Last of Us. They got
They did change Anthony Mackie's character though.
Yeah.
Because he was like a skinhead, a skinhead white guy. Or I think that was originally
the original
to be.
the role.
In the game, he was supposed to be like a neo-Nazi. Like at the end, the writers originally wanted him to be like he discovers that he was like a neo-Nazi racist guy. Like that was supposed to be the end. But then I think they changed it to make it so that he was like a cop and he got killed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a white guy. But not many people played Twisted Metal enough to complain about the race swap.
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
And that's fair enough. I mean, and honestly, I show up for like Sweet Tooth and like all the other characters that I was like a fan of playing, and you just did exactly what I needed you to do. Fallout is really good. I thought I didn't think in a million years that would work because
I knew it would work.
It's it's hard to make, especially like Bethesda game, to try to make that into something people want to sit and watch. Here's the thing about video game movies. I'm like, some of them don't need to be made. I do believe that. Like
Minecraft.
I don't think Minecraft needed to be made, but hey, it was a money grab. It is what it is.
You made money.
You made money. But some of them, it's just not even that it just doesn't need to. It's like damn near impossible. Like, how do you make open world RPG where there's 1,000 different combinations of how you can do it? How do you make that a story? Like one story. And they pulled it off. They did a damn good job.
Elden Ring is gonna be a movie.
Think so?
Nah, I heard that they announced it.
Oh shit.
A24 apparently. I don't know if that's real or not.
Damn. Maybe. I mean, PlayStation now is a production studio. I saw Until Dawn. Not bad.
Whatever.
Not bad. It was alright.
That didn't need to be made into a movie.
It didn't need to, but it worked. It was a teen horror movie. It was a B flick horror movie, but it just worked. And I'm like, I don't know when y'all started getting the ball rolling, but thank you. Like Sonic movie was solid. Actually, I really like the Sonic movie. They're more than solid. Halo I didn't watch, but I heard it was alright.
I heard they redoing it or some shit.
Okay. I like the Fall of Reach joint that they did, or the like YouTube one that they did a long time ago.
Last of Us is doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm pulling up for that every week. This is what needs to happen. They need to do a Mass Effect. That has to happen at some point. I don't know when. I don't know how. And maybe a God of War. God of War would be pretty cool.
Oh, Castlevania has something.
Castlevania's got a joint.
Devil May Cry is getting one.
Yeah.
I think one video game movie I would like to see is well, you know what I'm thinking, and like there was a lot of really bad video game movies. There was Blood Rain. There was Doom.
That's what I'm saying.
Forgot that they did a Blood Rain movie.
They did a Blood Rain movie.
I wiped that from my memory.
Terrible. I watched it last year. I watched it again last year, just to hurt myself. It was we had a rough go of it for a while.
Tekken had a movie.
Tekken did have a movie.
King of Fighters had a movie.
Street Fighter had a movie, obviously. But that was good bad. It's like at this point it's so campy. It's fun. Yeah, I don't like. they're finally getting the pieces together, and they're also making good calls on whether it should be live action or animated. That is a really important distinction.
Borderlands was awful. I heard.
I heard it was bad. Well, okay, so I heard it was really bad, and I believe that it was bad. Then I've heard people say that it like wasn't as bad as people made it out, and they just dumped on. But I haven't seen it either way, so I don't. That one should have been a slam dunk, though.
What, Borderlands?
Yeah,
I agree. They had a lot to work with.
it's a slam. That's a slam dunk. You could have made like crazy, weird Mad Max, fun racing. Like you literally could have done, and that's one of the things. Like, should it be a movie or should it be a TV show? And I think that's a question that you gotta sit down and ask yourself.
Could have
Like,
been a TV show.
that's what I'm saying. Like they made the wrong call. You could have probably gotten a lot more people over the course of a year on the world instead of like throwing Kevin Hart in there.
What are they gonna make? Elder Scrolls a TV show next? I hope not.
I don't think that one. You know, I know they probably won't because they tried to do Lord of the Rings show and it didn't land the way it was supposed to.